Alright, so this is a tour of my base in Subnautica. I'm out here on the edge of the twisty bridges, about 200 meters from the starting position. In my original Subnautica Below Zero playthrough, I built my base fairly close to the life pod. However, the water there is so shallow, it's difficult to fit the base modules, especially when you get around to using the moon pool. So I went out here where the water was a little deeper, although not too deep, and the Twisty Bridges has all sorts of resources at various depths that are of use to the player. Here we have an exterior grow bed where I grow some of the useful plants. Creep vines, gel sacks, and ribbon plants cover a lot of basics. Anytime I need those, I can harvest them and grow more for next time. This was the first room that I built. As you can see by the fact that it's got a little bit of everything in here. It's got the entry hatch, storage, power cell charger, battery charger, fabricator, storage, the modification bench. This is the bioreactor that served the initial power needs along with some solar panels. Plants for food and for utility. I built this room up here a little bit later. Originally it housed another bioreactor, but that still wasn't enough power, so I installed a nuclear reactor instead. Has yet to deplete any of its rods. That's the waste disposal for getting rid of rods that have been depleted. Back down the ladder. Refrigerator to keep food good. Yes, I like using bulkheads. Their materials are easier to come by than reinforcement panels, and reinforcement panels don't give you fun little doors to play with. Here's the alien containment. As in the previous Subnautica game, if you stack multi-purpose rooms on top of each other, you can build a larger tank. I have peepers in here to feed the bioreactor and also to make food for myself. You can get up to the other level with this ladder, but there's no real purpose to it. Here's the moon pool, the proverbial garage for my sea truck. I have the modification station built here. Can customize the color and name, fabricate upgrades, although with Below Zero you can actually fabricate all or most of these from the regular fabricator now, so it's not as essential as it used to be. Here's another moon pool for the prawn suit, which I haven't come up with a custom name for yet. I don't have the upgrade console in here because I just don't see it as being necessary. If I need one, I will just move it to the other moon pool. Here's the scanner room, holographic map of the area, lets me scan for resources. It's a bit of a power hog. This actually is one of the two reasons I have the nuclear reactor installed. Longer hallway here because for some reason it wasn't letting me install bulkheads. To the control room, which is an addition to Below Zero. You have the structural integrity reading, power status as far as input and consumption, holographic map that actually lets you turn unused rooms off. Name the base. I chose home plate because that's kind of what it is, and it just seemed like an appropriately amusing military call sign for that sort of thing. I actually moved the command room initially from its initial location, which was down here, which is an hatch at the other end of the base. The command room used to be over here, but it was in the view of a window I installed, so I just moved the command module somewhere else. Here's the twisty bridges themselves. Night is falling, as you can see. Back inside the base where it's safe and warm. Here is another addition to Below Zero. A larger interior room, rectangular, single level, they can be stacked on top of each other. This I made as kind of a living area. You've got a trash can, another refrigerator, a vending machine for salty snacks, some planting pots. Here's the window I was talking about earlier. Coffee machine, counter, a jukebox that I find prohibitively loud. It is tied into the ambient noise for the game. Here's a sort of sitting area, lantern fruit tree. Here is a combination of indoor greenhouse with a little bit of all the plants that I have and the water filtration machine. This is the other primary power hog, but the water that it generates is very useful compared to what you can get from other sources or most other sources, because it will restore plus 50 hydration. And it gives you salt for other things you might need it for, like preserving food or some chemical crafting. Speaker for the jukebox. Bedroom for the player. Double bed. Picture of the protagonist and her cat. Some motivational posters I borrowed from people who are not using them anymore. Another picture of the same cat. Poor sister's necklace. Yeah, the doors here are automatic, unlike the bulkhead doors. And that actually about sums it up. I have ion power cells installed in this, because those hold 5 times as much as standard power cells, so you can go longer, use equipment more often. Yeah, I don't have many foundations here, which is why you've got the legs sticking all the way down, or areas like this where the laws of physics say this should not possibly work, to have a heavy building suspended over trench, but Subnautica physics say otherwise. And here are the extra modules for the sea truck. I have one of most of them. The only ones I don't have are the aquarium, which I just don't see a point in, and the teleportation module, which I just haven't unlocked yet. Oops, ran over a fish. Yeah, you can dock like this with a little bit of guesswork because you don't have mirrors. Or you can give up, exit the vehicle, and simply drag the modules into position, which they made faster than I believe it was in the last build. It used to be understandably slow going, hauling around chunks of titanium underwater, but then they made it faster. Yeah, this blue line out here is a power link to a distant outpost, which I had originally intended as a mining station, but then I mined out everything that was there, and before I found the components for the nuclear reactor schematic, I just fed the power line all the way back to the main base. So I have bioreactor, some solar panels, the thermal plants, and the nuclear reactor. Basically every power option the game gives you, feeding my main facility. Here's some of the solar panels I have up top, along with another exterior grow bed of much the same purpose as the first one. Just extra room for growing different plants. That way I can harvest a couple of something wherever odd place I can find it, and then just bring it back home. And grow more whenever I should need it. Yeah, I didn't organize my storage very well this time. As you can see by the labels, shinies, that's basically just everything that doesn't fall into the other categories: copper, gold, titanium, lead, uraninite. Or no, titanium would be in its own locker. And that pretty much concludes the tour. Thanks.